This technique is based in part on a technique that Scott Kelby and I do in the Photoshop CS2 Power Tour, and it's based on actually something that Scott saw he refers to as Russian artists because it happened to be done by artists in Russia. But I was playing around with it. I thought it had some interesting possibilities. You just want to create an interesting looking background. And it also gives an opportunity to use a couple of tools that we don't use very often, which are the single column and single row marquee selection tools. So you just pick a very colorful photo and make a small selection, press Command or Control J, which of course you'll only be able to see because it's literally duplicated just that one row of pixels, or in this case one column. Control or Command T for free transform, and then just stretch it out all the way like this and all the way like that. I'm going to hide that for a second. I mean, by the way, you could of course just use that as your background right there, but now we're going to switch to the background, and this time use the single row marquee selection tool and make a selection. Make sure on the background again, press our Control or Command J, free transform, all the way down and all the way up. And at this point we can do a couple of things. We could try, for example, adding a layer mask, taking our gradient tool, make sure we've got a regular kind of gradient happening, add 100% opacity, and try just doing something like a diagonal gradient to see, that's kind of unusual. Or we could not do a layer mask, so I've just undone that. Make sure I have my move tool selected, and as I press Shift plus, it will go down through the various blend modes, and as you see, each one gives us a very different and unusual and interesting look. And as you can imagine, the sky's the limit here. You could pick that blend mode and then say, what about also though lowering the opacity to make it less obvious, or applying a motion blur, or there's just so many possibilities. But check it out. It's a pretty cool way to get started with a pretty nifty pattern you can use as a background or in some design in some other way. Pretty cool. I like it. How about you? Now remember, as we said, the sky's the limit. You can do anything you want, even applying the same concept to only part of the photo. I mean, who knows what fun you can have with such a weird thing as this. I don't know. It's just strange. But has some possibilities, doesn't it? I think so. I'm Dave Cross. I shall see you next time.